but it's okay.
GM Adrian, we're here. We're here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are back. We're a little off today. It's a Tuesday, not a Monday. It's really throwing me off.
We are not off. We are professionals. We are going to deliver the best of Farcaster news today.
We are. It's true. And we've got a really amazing show. We've got ToadyHawk coming on. That's always amazing. And Toady, if you happen to be listening already, I did just send you the link to join us at noon. So should be just check your various DMs. I am excited. We do have some fun things to talk about. We have some interesting things to talk about, and we've got builders, of course, always building. So let people know that we are live. We're going to go do some notifications. Adrian, I just realized yet again, and I only seem to realize this when I log in, that I have once again forgotten to redo the
intro.
The intro. So it still says 2025, season 3. We'll get to that. It will happen. But for now, enjoy this next 66 seconds. We'll see you
of 2025
on the other side. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. This episode of GM Farcaster is powered by Clanker. Each Monday, we'll bring you the latest news from the Clanker team and highlight the builders innovating with Clanker and Farcaster. Visit clanker.world to launch your token and check out all the new features that Clanker V4 has to offer. Thank you, Clanker, for sponsoring GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Tuesday, January 13th, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news, actually probably a little less, to start your day. And then the fabulous ToadyHawk will be joining us to chat all about betr and as part of our Clankcaster Spotlight. And Adrian, I would like to say a very special GM to Nikita Bear over at Twitter. I'm sure you're watching. This is my background today. This is Beeple taking on, taking up the fight to GM. Let me explain. But also,
but also
GM, everybody. So this is from Kenny to help us understand what is happening. And let me, yeah, there we go. It was getting a little cut off there. So use following feed so you aren't subjected to the whims of whatever head of slop runs the algo feed on your social media of choice. He was responding to the Twitter user known as Bertie Madoff, but not Bertie Madoff, over on crypto Twitter, had said, yo, what happened to CT? I don't see who I follow, nor my friends. In October, so Nikita said in October, a new myth started circulating in CT that you need to reply hundreds of times per day to grow an account. However, each time you post, it uses some of your reach for that day. We can't show all your posts to all your followers because the average user only views 20 to 30 posts per day. So CT ends up wasting all their reach on replying GM hundreds of times when they finally post real content, like a project announcement. It only gets shown to 3 people. CT is dying from suicide, not from the algorithm. Now, if you've been here a minute, how do you think CT, aka Crypto Twitter, responded to this?
Rationally, logically, measured, with no emotion.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely considering all the, various things he was saying. And yeah. He spent, I think, the past like 5 days basically just dealing with utter insanity, memes, like a token called Nikita Bohr. It's like there's a whole like thing going on, and it's like just crash out after crash out after crash out over on crypto Twitter. And this was my favorite part. My favorite one was people's response with the
we're
GM.
marching.
We're marching. We're GM protesting. Yeah, we're marching. Yeah, it just, I think this just really captured it. It really did capture it. So this morning, I think it was a few hours ago, Nikita did say, GM, it's fixed. I don't think so. I think you're lying.
Don't know.
I think you're lying. I think he just wants everyone to stop bothering him. Because
you can just tell people it's fixed.
It's fixed. He's like, it's fixed. I'm done. I'm done with this. GM, it's fixed.
Look, his explanation actually makes a lot of sense. Like
it actually does.
And however, also AIs should be able to figure out like, is this a reply that your followers want to see? So it's also a little bit of a cop out. So
yeah. I get what he was saying. I just think he triggered the masses and they just flipped out. And also, yeah, the algo is not necessarily so it's always been a challenge, and I have like spent all the time like trying to tweak my algo over on crypto Twitter. So I have one account that is just crypto stuff. It's still holding up pretty well. But I have to, every time I see something that is not crypto related, I have to mute, block, things like that on that account. I have a whole separate account that is like politics, and it's pretty much all politics. That's where I go to be sad. And then I go back for hopefully some positivity. And, I think there were some good, I understand what some people were saying. Like, I don't come here, I come here for this. I don't come here to see, all the other crazy stuff. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun over there, but it's fixed now. So don't worry about it. He also had said somewhere else that he was not in charge of the algo. So, okay. But in other Twitter news, because today we're doing Twitter news because it impacts us over here in Farcaster. Tickers on X. So this was announced by Nikita. X is the best source for financial news, and hundreds of billions of dollars are deployed based on things people read here. We are building smart cash tags that allow you to specify the exact asset or smart contract when posting a ticker. From Timeline, users will be able to, and it goes on to, I'm not going to click into it, but essentially you're going to be able to learn, it's saying it's going to give you information about in real-time stock updates, etc., or updates on that token. Yeah. And as of right now, though, there's no wallet built in. You could still probably use Banker to do some things, but you won't be able to do anything directly until they build that part. And I'm assuming that's what would come next. So for now, this is more a better way to informationally get that, but not necessarily an like a way to immediately buy using that information as of now. But of course, it is starting to trample in on our territory. So we'll see how that goes. In other news, this happened. Most of the news that I have up front is not necessarily Farcaster. It's just Farcaster adjacent, because this was just, to me, a little bit like, what? One parenthesis, what? Eric Adams removed the liquidity from a token that he launched yesterday, and immediately removed the liquidity, pretty soon removed the liquidity from it. I went to that token page over on Twitter, and it does say they were rebalancing. So basically he rugged the token. And the way I kind of read what happened, it felt very Sahil and Hayden Davis-like. So the ruggers who like to work with celebrities, talk them into how wonderful this thing is going to be, and then they rug. So that's what it felt like. I don't know if that's the case, but that's how I'm reading this so far. So this was
and this
Hayden
just
Adams.
happened yesterday.
Just happened. Yeah. So I don't even know if it's that long. Like, I think it was yesterday, but it was like
later in the day,
late.
afternoon.
Yeah, I think it was late. And this is from Hayden Adams, head of Uniswap. This is just awful and incredibly stupid. Anyway, you cut it. Part of what's so sad is celebrities and politicians can easily monetize their fame without scamming. You can still launch a coin, not a rug, and leave the LP alone, create some utility, etc. So, not good. And you know what? It's really not good. Why it's really, really not good? Because the market structure, has to be. Not Sahil Open Ring, not Cura Sahil. The scammer Sahil, different Sahils. Completely. No, we like that one. So the banks are fighting the yield still. So the market structure or Clarity Act, there's a couple things here. One's in the Senate, one's in the House. The House has already passed the Clarity Act. The Senate had passed something. I don't even know if they passed anything. They may not have passed anything, but their bill was very different. So they're trying to get it so that they match, because they have to match. And then they take votes. So they were supposed to go into markup, which helps to pull these things together, takes things out, puts things in. It's supposed to be happening Thursday. Then there was a call for a full hearing. And then, so who knows? And then one committee pushed back their markup to the end of January. So there's a lot of stuff that happened yesterday as soon as the markup was scheduled for Thursday. And what it's all coming down to really is that the banks are fighting yield on stable coins. So this is the really key issue. And there was at one point, Coinbase had signaled that they would pull their support if this happens, which is interesting. So this will be a big week for this. But Eric Adams rugging a token, not good timing there, dude. Could you not do it this week? Maybe another week. Thanks. Anyway, so that's happening. Moving on to more local news. That was the national news. We're going to move to the local news now.
That's great.
I hadn't thought about it like that before, but that's what I'm doing. This from Brad Q. 29 seconds of Farcaster. What did you miss this weekend? We learned that Quotient Creator, Leaderboard, and Rewards will be back this week, starting tomorrow, sponsored by betr. So that's exciting. So check out your Quotient Leaderboard, see where you're landing. Baraki released a new distribution method whereby Baraki Max holders, 10 million plus, were granted free shares of teams in the NFL playoffs. And in a couple other sports, Max were able to select a team in a pregame to get shares, a novel benefit to holders. Whereas Baraki put it, other models extract value. Baraki can give it to holders. And we talked a little bit with TLDR about this last week, that this was going to be a new experiment that was happening. So by the way, if you were here, if you were listening to GM Farcaster last Monday, you got some alpha. You could have got enough Baraki to be a Baraki Max, and you would have got this. Just saying. Alpha gets dropped here all the time. Just saying. Flexosaurus has hit it big with his Rewind MTV project, created when MTV announced no more videos. Again, you know where you saw it here first? GM Farcaster. You know where it is now? Rolling Stone. We had it first. I kind of love that. Really love that. It's been like everywhere in the news. We had it first. Pods sadly announced they will wind down operations, shifting the site into maintenance mode. Pages and pods will remain, but no development or maintenance. Many FCers expressed thanks for their work. And I do want to thank Lucas and Simmons and all the whole
Eric.
Pods team, Eric. It's been a really good platform for us. We'll still use it for now. It's still available. It's open. We're going to continue putting GM Farcaster on chain in that way until we're going to explore some other options, but we haven't made any decisions yet. So we're going to leave it there for now. And hopefully that'll at least be easy to do for the short term. Moving on. Kong's NFT shared a new Echo voice first mini app, which looks interesting. You can check it out here. This whole thread will be in our show notes. And then he shouted out that we weren't on yesterday because we weren't, but we're here today. Yeah, so a lot of things happening. That summed up a lot. I'm going to dive into a couple of those things a little bit more in a minute. This from Dish, Jack is back, taking a beat after a hectic year. Hits different. Catching up on some Clanker events. New politics token by Jared. Had a great call with him pre-Clanker. Igor trying out builder coins that was the slingshot. We talked about that last week. Vladdy, I think it's Vladdy. I don't think it's Vladdy, but I think it should
Vladdy.
be. I think it should be Vladdy. Can we call you Vladdy? Working on an app to claim your Clanker fees. Pizza is baking. What else did I miss? Oh, and then he said, Kevin MFer is back too. So yay, more dick butts on your timeline.
Oh, can I clank for Dish?
Yes, please clank for Dish. Okay. So Dish is back. We're glad he got a good break. He needed it. This from Diodad. I wrote a post covering a few of the core challenges we face building a production system for executing thousands of Ethereum transactions per day at Farcaster. I hope this can be useful to others and interested to hear other approaches. Happy to answer any additional questions you might have. So that is cool to see if you want to dive into the technical side. So Dan and Viv kinda are back. They've been they're back, but quieter than normal. So this from DWR, where is value capture headed in crypto? 4 primary places to make money on a swap. UI, asset is the issuer, DEX, chain. UI is the most lucrative today, but most pricing pressure and competition. Asset is the most durable, assuming you can maintain interest in the asset. Today, DEX isn't too competitive, but in the medium term, expect it to be commoditized. Chain is a good business, but UX improvements at UI layer means consumers won't care what chain. Ultimately, it comes down to liquidity, best price, and execution. So Dan's back to drawing little things, which I enjoy. So that's good. So just something to think about. And you kind of also gives a little insight into what they're thinking about. So I think that's useful. Any thoughts here?
No, happy to see Dan drawing again. We like the drawing. And the only thought I'd say is like a lot of this, what he's talking about specifically is on a swap, like where to make money on a transaction. And I think it's a nice reminder that crypto is not just about transactions, also about ownership. So just like with any sort of asset, you can just hold. Yeah,
you can just hold.
Own. And
you can
not,
it's
but
true.
He's talking, I think, more to founders looking to
if the Senate and House allow, you may even earn some yield on some of that. But we'll see.
We shall see.
This from V wrote up some thoughts on passkeys and why we shouldn't use them for crypto wallets that want a consumer grade UX. Special thanks to Horsefax and Diodad for all the research that went into this last year. And I have not read this yet. Have you had a chance to read this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thoughts?
I did. My thoughts. It's been like 2 years since V wrote on his blog, like he published on his site.
Yeah. It's been a while.
So I was really happy to see him writing again. And I don't have answers. The only I read this last week. Now you're asking me to remember what I thought of it.
Sorry.
I casted my thoughts. I forget. It had something to do with he's talking about how passkeys, because they live on a device, aren't necessarily the best for consumer wallets that you're going to use in multiple places. And I think we have really smart people thinking about these things, and very grateful for smart people thinking about them. I had a question, because shout out Splits, which we know we use for our banking, we use passkeys for approving Splits transactions. Yeah. And I was talking about how I was able to kind of use passkeys on one device to authorize transactions on another, yada, yada, yada. Didn't really get clarity on exactly how that works. Different. But I think one of the things Varun was saying here is passkeys are good for account ownership. Mm-hmm. It's the one, but not necessarily for every ongoing transaction that you.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And he offered an alternative pattern for, instead of having to kind of sign everyone, is in your account ownership, taking your seed phrase and embedding it into
okay.
SB. So it's kind of you can.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, if you want to read this, it will be linked in our show notes and you can dive in for yourselves. The weekly Clanker roundup is back. So this is good. Sharing major updates from builders in the Clanker ecosystem. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it does cover Surge Pro from Product Clank, Sky Castle, Retake, Pool Fans, Likes, Runner, Bays, Minted Merch, Habs, Checker, Indexy, which is $I, and House. So go check that out. And shout out to for House, because that is what I need to go to next. Hold on one second and do one thing. I do see ToadyHawk down there. We're going to bring him up in just a moment. But I do need to just show one more thing that we need to talk about before we bring him up. And that is our auction. So we've been using Late Night on Base, Bill's new auction house, for an opportunity to curate a cast for our shows. So I have not done one for tomorrow. I will put one up right after the show. So it's going to be a little tight there, but we'll have it available, and that one will be in Habs. But today's show was in Betr. So in honor of Betrmint and ToadyHawk coming to join us in just a couple minutes. And the winner of that auction was the fabulous Javaboo. And why am I having an issue here? Who won this for the new politics token. So there is a new token for the politics channel. So this is from Javaboo, Dish, and DWR. The politics channel finally joined the Clanker network, hoping this token will help us further our mission of growing the political community on Farcaster. So politics has launched. They did do an airdrop to those who were holding Buster tokens, which was one that was for this channel previously. And then this is a little bit more from Javaboo. I'm excited for the future of $politics and the politics network. The newly released token is already fully integrated with our political prediction mini app, polycast.xyz. We're going to be working with Kenny to support individuals to take IRL political action via Pixar didn't happen, Poidbot. DGenCommunist.eth and I are hosting the weekly politics show every Friday at 1 p.m. And we're giving weekly airdrops to everyone that casts about politics via Cura. We're just getting started. So if you cast something that is politics related, make sure you do so in the politics channel, because that is how this is all connected. So very cool to see. And thank you, Jared Javaboo, for picking up the auction. And amazing. So we're really excited that he had mentioned that he was getting ready to bid, so that he was going to be doing some bidding. I didn't know it was going to be today, but very cool. And I have my politics tokens. I got a little airdrop from my busters, and occasionally I do post in politics when I'm having a major crash out is usually where I throw that, or, you know, in a group chat here and there, or just to my mother. So there you go. Bro up. I'm sorry, Genuine Real Mo. We appreciate you bidding, though. We really do. We appreciate you bidding. There'll be another one today. It will be up in a little while. Mookie, quiet. You're not going to be able to bid. So that'll be up shortly. And I will make sure to tag you on it so you see it, and other folks who have bid before who maybe have gotten outbid. But I'm really excited. I think this is a cool approach. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they all do with the politics token. So very exciting. Very, very exciting. All right. So when Mookie token. Now, Mookie is uninterested in being an on-chain creator or influencer. I have asked him. He is not interested. He is really upset anytime I mention Bertwurst. He gets a little upset. He gets a little jealous. So I think that's what's driving it. But yeah, he's just not interested. So probably never. Okay, we are going to shift gears. We are going to bring up ToadyHawk. I need to change my background because I have a special background for this. So I got to do that. And also, where is my little Clankcaster Spotlight overlay? Let me do that while we make a little shift here. So here is our Clankcaster Spotlight. I got to change my background. You know what I'm changing it to, Toady. You know. And then we're going to bring ToadyHawk up here and talk about betr. And we do have a few news items after we are finish up with Toady. So don't leave. And GM Farcaster to ToadyHawk.
Yo.
Welcome. It's so nice
What's
to
up,
have
everybody? Is that what you're supposed to do on YouTube?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Toady.
Welcome, Toady.
Not that kind of show?
Okay.
Not usually, but
Is this your first time?
first time on GM Farcaster, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I looked up, I went on ChatGPT and it told me to come in high energy, so just tried. Oh, sorry, no, Claude Cowork has told me to come in high energy.
Is it Claude or Claude?
Claude. Oh, did I just out myself?
Is that a Canadian way to say Claude?
Canadian?
Claude.
Probably, because that's how we pronounce that name properly here in Canada. But it probably is Claude.
It's probably Claude. I just realized I got to change my little logo to the neon one. So there we go. Now we got the neon GM. All right, we are going to dive.
You just reminded me of the first time I had Mike Desmarais on my podcast, and I pronounced his name like the French Canadian way.
That's right.
Mike Rambeau. Is it Rambeau?
Mike Rambeau. Yeah, and he was like,
Mike Rambeau.
No, but he was like, wow, I actually do have family up in Montreal. I don't really know them, but yeah. So it probably is Desmarais. Anyways.
That's
okay.
So funny.
By the way,
Foibles of a Canadian. A new segment on GM Farcaster.
Ice Toad. So
we don't pronounce
you under the bus.
Yeah, somebody tells me Jason 420 does not live 20 minutes from the Quebec border, and we can talk about that later.
It's Ice Toad if you're not sure who Jason 420
he does live in
is.
Ottawa, so he just doesn't speak French properly.
Yeah, he knows. So I was like,
that's
no,
okay.
You know who that is.
Just fluently bilingual here, Ice Toad. That's fine.
Yeah, and also giveaway. He said, "Oh, not eh." So
no, he is Canadian. He's from Ottawa, I think, or Kingston or something. Anywho, we digress as usual.
We seriously digress, and welcome to Toady on GM Farcaster, where we seriously digress.
I just call it Claude because I make everything rhyme with toad. That's actually
there. You go. That actually makes a lot of sense. that tracks. That actually tracks. By the way, I'm wearing a lovely
let's go.
Designed by Toady shirt with
that's not designed by me. That's designed by Frankie.
Right.
But anyway, it is a Yellow Collective limited edition sweatshirt
from Farcon.
Actually, we found some of those. Q found a bunch of those in a warehouse recently, so we're gonna do something fun with them. Maybe do a spin on Betrmint and give some away because they're limited edition. They're pretty dope, and yeah,
they're really cute.
They also sold for like $100 at the time, so yeah, maybe some people will want them.
I would like a couple extra to make up for it. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
I'm just kidding.
I love it.
It could be arranged. I love this shirt. It's so cute.
I'm wearing some merch as well, of course. Some
I see that
merch. Shout out minted merch. Oh,
I ordered the hat, and I thought it was going to get here today. I got a notification that it arrived, and I'm like, no, it did not. And it didn't. And I tracked it, and I'm like, no, it's not here yet. When is the question? When is the question of when my hat will arrive? Yes, I love the when on the back of that hoodie. It's so cute.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
Shout out to Minted Merch for making that happen, because I was like, I want to do this. I know it's annoying, but it'll be fun. And most people, you can't even see it when the hood's down, but it's a nice little Easter egg.
It's really cute. Yeah. And a lot of people have been excited about that Easter egg, if you will. I've seen it posted on the timeline when people have received their hoodie and they didn't realize that there was a when on the back.
They even guided me, really politely. They were like, because I wanted to put it on the back of the hood. And they're like, well, Toady, you can't put it on the back of the hood, because then when the hood's up, it'll be upside down. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's a good point.
Almost like, you know what you're doing.
I was like, why? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That won't work.
Because of gravity.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a bad idea. Yeah. I was like, why couldn't it just? Oh no, that won't work. Amazing. All right, so we're gonna do this as a formal Clankcaster Spotlight. So we need to dial it in.
Do I need to put on a tie? I can.
Yes, please. Can you go change and be more formal? What I mean by that is we're gonna start for a little bit from scratch. Usually when we've had you on here so many times from like pre-Betrmint and from, pre-launch of Betrmint, all these things, but we want to make sure that if there's anyone new who doesn't know what Betr and Betrmint is, we want to start from scratch. So, Toady, what is Betrmint?
I didn't know that it was going to be formal. Just give me 1 second, okay? Sorry.
I've seen him.
What now? Is he bringing the wheel? Is he getting the wheel? I think he's getting the wheel.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I've seen him in a suit. We've seen him in a suit.
You're getting the tie. What are you doing? All right. Okay. This is like when you were at Dev Connect.
Yeah, we got to get my pink tie on. I just didn't know it was a formal Clanker Spotlight.
I thought you were getting the wheel or something. Like,
I'm wearing a baseball hat. This is
not
that type of formality, Toady.
There we go.
Okay, much better. Much better.
I'm ready.
All right. So let's re-roll. What is Betr and Betrmint?
So Betrmint is a mini app, a very popular mini app on Farcaster and the base app. And it's all about getting creators and founders paid for their creativity in an interesting way. And we've had a pretty amazing year. Well, not quite a year. It's been like 3 quarters, almost exactly, like 9 months since we launched.
It's only been 9 months?
Yeah. I mean, you can grow a baby in 9 months, so I guess it doesn't sound that impressive, but 9 months, 9 months since April 28th. So we're coming into sort of our 4th quarter of Betrmint, but we've done 129 rounds of the game. Our users have done over 140,000 spins, which represents over $250,000 of revenue or volume going through the app. Wow. As a DevCo, we've done over $300,000 in revenue if you include sort of Clanker trading fees, shout out Clanker, and prizes that we've won in hackathons and whatnot. Speaking of hackathons, we won the On-Chain Summer Award for top live mini app at the time, which was in September. We were also selected as one of only, I think, was it 30? I forget how many, 50 projects that were selected to go to Argentina for Base Batches Incubator, which was really fun. Our North Star has always been to help creators and artists find a venue to get paid for their creativity. And we've been able to pay over $80,000 in rewards to creators over 9 months, which we're super proud of. We've got like over 10,000 active users per month, and we've pretty much permanently been in the top 25 on the leaderboard for the last 6 months or so. So really proud of the community that we've built. And speaking of that too, I think we're one of the only projects, mini app projects or token projects that has really put a huge emphasis on building an organic community around the app and around the token. Burr has been a big part of that. We brought her on as our CFO or Chief Fun Officer a while ago now, like 7 months ago, I want to say. And she's been just, keeping the vibes up, doing poker contests and art contests and interesting things on the timeline. And I think like that, and combined with our staking, because we also have native staking for our token, which pays out over 30% APY, and that comes directly from our app revenue. So we're basically just sharing in the winning that we're doing with the app with people who stake our token. I think those two things, like having a community focus with Burr and all the games and the Better Believers chat that we have, combined with the staking, has really helped us to kind of weather this more recent downturn in the market over the past few months, where a lot of projects, frankly, have just been like decimated to like a tenth of their former worth. Well, not worth, but market cap, which can make a founder feel like it's their worth. Sometimes it's really tough. But anyway,
hold on, pause 1 moment, Adrian. Adrian,
your market cap is not your worth.
No, it is not. It is not.
But you're good enough. But
building a project with
a
live token is not for the faint of heart, and it is hard. It is hard not to take the feedback personally, and you just have to kind of roll with it. But I do think that like building a community and having like useful, like actual utility and token sinks for your token can sort of help make that a little bit less volatile.
Definitely. And I think Burr's been crushing it with a lot of fun things, but also the kind of the contests that you've had with different artist contests or just different pop-up things that have happened. The awards that you did some better awards. We talked about that on here. That was really fun.
That was sort of a not a last minute thing. We thought about it a little bit, but the holidays are crazy busy. And so we're trying to pull it together at the last minute and make it part of we do a sort of like every 3 months, we do a Better Bomb community airdrop where we take tokens that we set aside at the very beginning of the project and we distribute them out to our most loyal, best app users, basically. And we do that every 3 months. And it's basically based on karma, which you can earn by doing different things in the app and holding and staking the token, etc. And we thought, well, we'll have a little fun with it. And the day before we do the airdrop, we'll do this like awards show. How hard could it be? And then like I ended up getting like super flamed by my wife and my family for spending like maybe 8 hours the day before New Year's, just like writing out the thread. And we were actually going to do a live stream, but Burr wasn't feeling well, so I was like, I'll just do it as a thread. It won't take long. It did take long, but it was worth it, and people really appreciate it. It was like partially data-based ones, like who had the most spins and who had the most wins and who had the most staked and this sort of thing, and then it was partially kind of like high school senior yearbook type awards for like interesting things, people who were bringing the most happiness to the chat and these types of things. So that was really fun.
Number of wins. So if you don't get the when why when is on the back of the hoodie.
I mean,
within the Betrmint chat, if you're in there, if you're one of the Better Believers, you'll see as the spin time comes up. So it's at 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As it approaches, the wens, the WENs within this chat grow exponentially. Yeah. So was there a win? I think there was somebody who had the most wins or something.
I don't remember. No, I don't think that was one of them.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Although Leo, shout out Leo Vito, I think that's how you say his name. Leo Vito actually made a bot at one point that would count how many wins, precursor to a round. So that was kind of fun, both in the timeline and in the chat.
And it becomes this like sort of community thing too. It's a larger crypto Twitter, crypto type of thing anyway that everyone knows within our ecosystem, but then it becomes like a special little targeted thing for the community that they can kind of tag onto, which I think is fun.
I feel like it's reclaimed too to some degree too, because usually that meme is like when moon, like when the dev's going to do something, but in our community it's like a lot less aggressive. I think anyway, it's more so like when are we going to spin and have some fun?
Exactly.
I'm going to take off my monkey suit if you guys don't mind.
You can take off the tie now. You can take off the tie.
I think the bit has run its course. Yeah.
It's run its course. Yes.
I want to ruin all your clips.
I do want to do a demo here. So you guys have updated the demo, which is great because the interface changed. So I wasn't sure today. I was like, "Ooh, I hope it's."
The interface changed almost a month and a half ago now, and then NetKnows, my technical co-founder, has been working on some of the other ancillary pages. So we did the main demo and the main flow of the app so that people would feel it every time that they use the app, but there were still a couple of pages like the staking page and whatnot that hadn't been redone. But some alpha, actually the new staking terminal is going to be released in the next 24 hours, let's say. So keep an eye out for that. It's pretty slick. I've seen the mock-ups for it, and it just sort of brings the staking terminal up to the same aesthetic as the new rest of the app. So Yeah.
So essentially what you're seeing here is this is the most recent spin, I think,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
As part of the demo.
Mm-hmm.
So
it always does that. It always defaults to the.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's great. And so if you are like, I don't know what the heck this is, I want to understand it before I go try it, you can go to bettermint.fun/demo and you'll see it here. And if you click on try this demo,
I'm gonna do some
essentially
get the jackpot.
little voodoo there. So what it's doing is that's when you're paying for how many spins. If you want to just do one, you can do two of them, 5 of them. And then you're paying essentially those funds are being split between the team and the creator that's being promoted within this particular spin. And then you're spinning the wheel to see what you won. And it could be a jackpot, it could be a 1x, it could be a 2x, it could be nothing. So it really depends. 5x. So
I didn't put enough magic on it, but it was close.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good. I like a 5x. 5x,
especially because the app is usually programmed to do only try agains for prof. So I had to give it a little bit of juju.
A little bit of juju. And then you claim whatever you won. So you claim your fake better, etc. And then you can then share and earn some karma points. It'll tell you what you won, what you got there, and then you can mint again if you want to spin more. What are karma points while we got you here?
So karma points are just off-chain points rather that you accrue by just doing different things in the app every day. But unlike a lot of points programs, they actually are used for our periodic actual liquid token airdrop. So they do have some real implied value. And it's just a way to sort of track, people who are using the app who aren't missing spins. If you have a streak going, for example, and you don't miss any spins, you get multipliers, so your karma goes up exponentially. We also have quests in the app too, where you can do certain tasks like swapping better on using our Matcha API. In the app, and you get karma bonuses for that. Sometimes we'll do poker tournaments for karma bonuses. So there's lots of ways to sort of just use the app, participate in the community, and earn karma, and then be rewarded for it in our sort of 3-month period of airdrops.
Awesome. So let's turn a little bit more to the Betr token. And so when you launched this, you launched it kind of stealthily before you launched the mini app, but in conjunction. And so why did you choose to do that? And what were your thinking around some of the, like the way that you set up that particular drop?
Yeah, so people sometimes ask me that, like when you first, were thinking of making a mini app, were you wondering at first whether you should do a token or not? And in my case, it was never a question because the token was an integral part of the entire design of the app. It's part of the incentive viral loop, and it wouldn't have worked without it. And the inspiration for Betrmint originally came from incubators like Blueprint, for example, shout out Blueprint, who were taking in creators and basically teaching them how to use tokens and meme coins as incentive pools, essentially to get people to collect their content on Zora or on their own platform, Blueprint or other minting platforms. And so I learned a lot going through their incubator, I guess over a year ago now, 18 months ago now. But one thing I realized is that if you didn't have any built-in distribution yourself, if you didn't have a lot of followers, then it could be difficult to use protocols like Boost XYZ or Layer 3 because you could put $1,000 worth of Betr or $1,000 worth of ETH into an incentive contract to try to get people to mint. But if they don't know it's there, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, then they won't be incentivized to go and do the thing. And you would see that in practice where some people would put these pools in there and they would just sit there on pods or elsewhere and they wouldn't get claimed because there was no distribution driving people there. And so the idea for Betrmint was like, what if you could, create something fun that people would put into their calendar to say on these days at these times, like HQ trivia kind of model, I'm going to show up and I'm going to have some fun and I'm going to support a creator. And it turned out that, we made an MVP, NetNose and I, just to see if it would work in practice, if people would like to do that. And turns out they did. People would sort of, the rounds were always and still are oversubscribed. People will rush to try to get their little dopamine rush for spinning and get their variable reward. But ultimately, the founder or creator that we featured in the app, has their goal reached in that they get double distribution. They get the chance to distribute their token on chain, like their content token on chain, and they get sort of traditional distribution in the sense that people will see them and see what they can do. And I think that's important for creators, is that a lot of the ways we try to give creators exposure or distribution is just like only the exposure, and you can't eat that. So you need to have both.
Yeah, you can't buy groceries with exposure.
You can barely buy groceries with money. So you definitely can't do it with exposure.
Definitely can't do it with exposure. Okay, so looking at, and I will say, actually, before I move to my next question, I would say that our the pods that we did, our token that we did with Betrmint, I think was our highest claimed one. I'm pretty sure. If I go back and look, I'm pretty sure that was the one. So
which proves that our point, which is that I think that people want to support creators. They just need something to get their butt in the seats to do it.
They need an incentive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they need a little push. And I think the consistency of this also is really helpful, that it's the same time, it's the same days. And so people I literally have a timer set on my phone. So, and so if my timer goes off and I go into the chat, because I'm a better believer, I've got my 50 million better. Actually, I've got more than that staked now, way more than that staked. I just keep restaking.
You're making money. It's like 30%.
Yeah, I just keep restaking, and I don't think about it and just leave it there. I think I have a little bit in my wallet just because I just like to have it in my wallet, and
just to flex.
Yeah, really. That's really what it is. So I'll usually, my alarm will go off. I go in there and I do my spin, or I say when the spin's not ready. So
yeah, you're not wrong. Like a lot of people have shown us that they literally have Betrmint spins in their calendar so they don't miss them. Yeah. So I think
I just have it in my little clock and my little timers. So it's an alarm. It says better. Yep. Just go spin. And then I just, come back every time. And I've been able to collect some amazing art too. It's been amazing art. It's tokens. So you started with only the podcasts that are on pods, and then expanded out from there. So talk about the different types of media or things that you're now incorporating into those Betrmint spins.
So really we started with podcasts only because it was an MVP. It was just to see if it would work. And pods had a really clear incentive structure where, whenever you minted on pods, it was immediately split between the platform and the creator. So it was very easy to use that and just sort of build it into what we wanted to build. So we used pods originally, but that was only meant to be a short-term thing. We definitely wanted to be able to provide distribution for all kinds of creators and even founders and builders of all kinds. So very quickly, we kind of expanded from pods out to other types of NFTs, and then eventually even into coins. So if you have a paragraph coin or a Zora coin, we built a custom scaffold, is what I like to call it, that allows people to feature creator coins on the app as well. But just any kind of on-chain content. And one thing that we're building out now that you should see something on soon is just really, we realized it could be any kind of on-chain action really that could be the incentivized thing to do. So it could be collecting an NFT, it could be buying a Zora coin, it could be collecting a pods NFT or what have you, or a music NFT, but it could also just be anything that's on-chain. It could be follow someone on Farcaster. It could be any on-chain action. So that's something we're looking at building it as well.
Interesting. That's interesting. I could see a lot of folks taking advantage of that. I think that also, we see that with QR and how popular that is. So just trying to drive attention to things. There's so much competition for our attention.
Yeah.
So a neon spinning wheel is a good way to grab people's attention.
I think that's been one of our biggest lessons, is just that founders and creators really need distribution. They don't really know how to get it, especially on Farcaster. Even people who are Farcaster native don't really understand how to get that turnkey distribution, but even more so people from outside the Farcaster ecosystem who kind of see, they're like that meme, like what the hell's going on over there? That cat, they're like that from X, and they see that there's a reason, to get on TBA and to get on Farcaster, but they have no idea how to get started, or they come to Farcaster and they cast a few times into the void and then they give up. So one of the directions that we're building and have been building for the past couple months is into a new app that's going to be complementary to Betrmint called Better Boost. And the whole idea of Better Boost is essentially to make that process more turnkey and leverage apps like Betrmint and other apps like QR and Surge and Amps and all these amazing little building block permissionless apps to help these founders and creators sort of get their foot in the door and get distribution for their projects, for their tokens, for their content on Farcaster. So pretty excited about that. We're going to be making some small changes to Betrmint coming up soon. That's going to allow people to basically do self-serve rounds. And that's sort of a first testing phase for something that's going to be used for Better Boost. So that's pretty exciting. And
if we can help you test, let us know. That sounds interesting.
You'll be one of the first. You'll be one of the first for sure that we'll reach out to. But I think that's an important step for us because we've made it this far with like a lot of curation, which takes a lot of time and effort. And NetNose and I are happy to put in the time or effort, but it's not like infinitely scalable. So we can't like curate 3 rounds a week forever and ever. We need to be able to make it a tool or a protocol that people can actually just use to get turnkey distribution for what they're looking to get distribution for. And so this is one of the things that we're building, is just a way that people will be able to just leverage the distribution unlocks that we've figured out and potentially do it even without even ever speaking to me or to NetNose.
Which is how I would definitely prefer it, if I never have to speak to you.
Well, whenever we
set yourself up for that, I had to.
Whenever we do customer service surveys, that's the first feedback we usually get is like, if we could do everything here but never speak to Toady.
NetNose caught us straight on that one. Sorry, NetNose, we love you. This is cool to see in here. We've got I'm also a phone alarm better.
Let's go.
2 alarms for me, 1 for pre-spin and 1 for public. So
I thought that said 1 for aspirin at first. I was like, damn, like it's really good. Like 1 for the headache I'm gonna get from
1 for pre-spin and 1 for public. So you got a double alarm going on there. And also, I just want to make sure that Ramsey saw this morning princess. So if you missed this, Ramsey had posted something about one of the folks who was in his DCs saying, "Good morning, princess," or something like that. And you know how they do. And he said, it was nice to be called princess, and Aqueous and I and others have now picked up on this. So yeah, there you go. Just wanted to shout that out while he was in the chat. All right, circling back, one of the other things you have done was create help Mint and Merch create a staking and as part of their mini app with the Mint and Merch token. So this was a question from Aqueous. Have you found anyone else to use staking formula you use for setup for Betrmint or Mint and Merch? Or my question would be, are you helping anyone else do the same? Would be my question there.
Yeah, so the story with Mint and Merch was kind of just fortuitous timing. Like we had just finished creating our own staking terminal. We wanted to roll our own rather than using some of the off-the-shelf contracts that were available out there, mostly because we really were excited about the spin to claim mechanism, because we've just seen how much people love to spin. And so we thought, it could be fun. Who wouldn't want to have the chance to win an extra little bonus or jackpot when you're claiming yield from staking? Because DeFi can be pretty boring, right? And you just don't check it very often because you want it to compound, and so you'll maybe check it every month or so just to see what happens. And sometimes when you do that, if you're staking all over the place, you'll find that your token's gone to 0 or that DeFi protocol got hacked, and so you're not paying attention to your position. So the idea was, well, what if we could, have a secure staking that was, audited and it's in our app, and your tokens are safe. But if you go in and you restake them once a day just to check in, then you'll get a chance to win additional bonuses. And people have not surprisingly, people have loved it as much as they love the other spins, and so that's just helped us to keep the DAUs up on our app, keep ourselves trending on that trending app list, and just give additional bonuses and extra chances to win to our community for staking and believing in what we're building. And so all that being said, when we built that, our friends Savage over at Savage and Cat over at Minted Merch were just thinking about doing staking themselves, and they were like, well, is this something that we could work on together? And so we just made a deal with them, and they gave us a grant of some of their tokens to use in some rounds, and we built a clone version of our staking terminal for Minted Merch folks, and that's been live since I want to say late September, early mid-October actually, mid-October. And it's been going great. I think they've been really enjoying it as well. To answer Aquios's question, we have been in talks with a couple other projects that saw what we did for Minted Merch, and nothing final yet, but we're definitely open to it if it makes sense for both parties. And it's pretty easy for us to clone it over for another community.
We do have a question in here, so I'm going to throw this out here. I love Betrmint. I just find myself doing 3+ confirmation transactions when spinning. Is this user error, approved stake, etc.? I think you're talking about the staking, because the staking does have the other things. Can you just explain that a little bit?
So if you're doing one of the regular content rounds, you should only have 2 clicks, maybe even only 1 if you've played before, because you will have already approved. So you click to approve, and then you spin, and that's it. And then you'll have another transaction, of course, to claim your prize at the end. But with the staking, it is a bit different, and that's because part of the sort of incentive deal that we're making is like, if you spin the wheel, you are claiming your stake and then compounding it and restaking it, and in reward for that, you get a chance to win one of our mini jackpots or jackpots, staking mini jackpots or jackpots, and we have a number of those every single day, plus a bigger week one and a bigger month one. And so that's why you're seeing so many transactions. Unfortunately, you kind of have to blame Vitalik for that. There's just so far not an easier way to do that. You're approving the token to claim, and then to compound and restake, and then of course to claim your rewards at the end. So that's why
I did not see Vitalik getting blamed for that. So
Vitalik catching strays too. Sorry, Vitalik, NetNose,
just catching strays all over the place. I did love this. More spin is always the answer. Can you get Will Ferrell to do a Betrmint ad? More spin.
Come on, we're going spinning.
We're going spinning.
I'll talk. I mean, I could probably get Sora AI to do it. Will that work?
That'll suffice. That'll suffice. Adrian, do you have any questions? I've kind of just been chatting away here.
I don't know.
Do I?
I have something I can share in the meantime. About Quotient. So we are the sponsor. Betr is the sponsor for the Quotient leaderboard this week, and that I've been on the air, so I'm not sure, but it was supposed to go up at noon. So if it hasn't gone up yet, it will go up soon. But yes, we are the sponsor this week, so you can win some Betr. We put in over $1,000 of Betr to reward to the top creators for the Quotient leaderboard. If you're not familiar with what Quotient's doing with the leaderboard, it's basically the good old Farcaster creator leaderboard from times of yore, by which I mean like 6 months ago.
But much better.
But less than 6 months ago.
But less, but see, the algorithm seems better. There's, I think Prof just likes it because she scores higher.
I score way higher on this leaderboard. It's
amazing,
and I love it.
We should pull up the leaderboard right now.
Okay. Why? Something tells me that Prof and I are very near in the current leaderboard.
One moment, please.
Prof won't like it at all. Prof won't like it at all. But I like
I'm not bringing it up.
I like to make our guests look good.
Oh, let's go.
I don't.
ToadyHawk. .eth #1 rank, highest score.
Hold on 1 second. I'm bringing it up.
This is one of the benefits you get when you sponsor a round of Quotient.
He gets to, he's gonna win better. Weird.
That's right.
Weird.
Whatever I win will be going right back out to the community, just to be
all right. Well, okay. So on the plus side, I am my favorite number at the moment. But
16, that's good. It's a good start.
16's not bad. Not bad. I can live with that. But yes, there he is. There he is.
Even above Poppy. Look at that.
Oof.
First time for everything.
First time. You know how hard it is to hold that, though. It's hard to hold that. I know why. You're getting a boost.
And on that note, so if you stake 25 million Betr, you get a 2x boost. You get a 2x boost on yours. You better.
Something's not working right. Something's not working right, because I should have that.
Okay, we'll ask if the devs could do something. But yeah, that's fun. And then, you know, I just really like what Jordan's doing, Ruminations with Quotient and just like dog fooding their own data basically to do some fun things on the feed. And so we wanted to support that. And we're also some alpha here right after the show. We're going to be dropping an art contest between Betrmint, sponsored by Betrmint and Quotient, where you get a chance as an artist to sort of combine the vibes of Betrmint and the Quotient leaderboard, put your best foot forward, and the winners of that will also be receiving an additional boost plus some cash prizes. So that'll be fun.
That's exciting. And here we do have the, I just wanted to pull up the Betrmint app, mini app, so we could show that real quick. Yeah. We did show the website, so I could show the demo, because the next round is in 26 hours plus, so it's tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. But then you can see when you go into this mini app, you can see the staking, the quest, the karma leaderboard, as well as recent rounds. So go check that out. So you can see what is happening and get ready for the next round. And you'll get a notification if you add the app. Go ahead.
Toady, I want to know who is the mastermind behind the neon branding? And did you know that Stranger Things was going to bring the 80s back harder than it's ever been?
Well, to be fair,
all my teenage kids are like listening to nothing but 80s music right now. Thank you.
I think the 80s have been back.
Neon everything.
I think the 80s have been back for a while. I mean, everything comes full circle for sure. And I can't claim getting to the 80s aesthetic before Stranger Things, because how many seasons of that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it was really
and even
this
like Dua Lipa's last album was like straight out of the 80s. So I think the 80s have been back for a while. But I think I've just always loved that kind of nostalgic vibe, and I've always wanted to sort of do a branding that had these two colors together, the sort of hot pink and cyan of like the retro arcade casino. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a mastermind or a masterstroke by any means, but that was kind of like my idea to make the app interesting and different, because it does feel like a lot of the apps, especially no shade to vibe coding, but a lot of the apps end up turning out almost the same 4 colors or gradients, and they get a little boring to look at. So, you know, when we first designed the app too, like I don't think you should give us too much credit, because the app was not that nice looking for the first like 5 months, to be honest with you. It worked well, but it was like somewhat like I've done a lot of branding design and logo design and this type of work over the years, and NetNose is an engineer, but he's done mostly like Web 2 like websites and whatnot. So it was very functional and worked and secure, and it looked good as like a website, but it didn't look like a traditional app. And now the new design, which NetNose is mostly responsible for, looks a lot more like a native app, and I'm really, really proud of it. But it's been a combination of both of our efforts and talents, I'd say, to bring the aesthetic alive. And I've been surprised by, you know, how well people took to it, but it's been really a boon for the community, because it makes it so easy for people to generate AI art in that style or create their own art. Like, artists have had a lot of fun sort of reinterpreting the neon aesthetic in their own style. When we've done art series, we've had like different artists from all different walks of life and mediums, and they've all like reported having a lot of fun sort of interpolating the neon aesthetic into their own style. So that's been fun.
Yeah, I love that with Try Emerge has made that very easy. So for like the Betty Awards that you did, and with the hot pink carpet, I should say, not the red carpet, the pink carpet, that was so cool. That was really fun to sort of gear up for it and everyone get dressed. You know, what are you wearing? It was a little moment. So it was fun. I loved that. By the way, I had a request in a reply when I posted that you were going to be on. Can you slip up and call him Turdy just once and ask him for a friend? So I just thought I'd let you know that a
little bit of friendly poker rivalry is what we're seeing here. And that's fine. Some of us are just better at catching the card we need on the river. What can I say?
Oof. There you go. Yeah. So that was obviously aqueous. So for that, so Toady will play hard in the better poker, but he usually does then give up if he does win. Like I
give him my prize.
He gives up the prize. He gives up the
sometimes
prize.
you just have to show them, you can play, ball, but then
absolutely. And the poker's really fun. I enjoy it.
I wanted to mention that
really
too.
Fun.
We talked about poker earlier, but we also have some new things that Burr is testing and cooking for this season of Betrmint. And one of the things we're doing with our high stakes poker tournament, which has been really popular, is now anyone who stakes any amount above 5 million, above 5 million, can play any of the high stakes tournaments, which happen every Sunday, basically. Before, what she was doing, which was still really cool, it was like the first week was 5, and then the next one was 10, and then 25, and then 50, or maybe 5, 25,
I think
50, it was 100.
Yeah, it was 50. Ended up at like 200 at one point. Yeah.
And there's not that many whales who are active on Farcaster who have more than 200. Shout out to the folks who do, like IT Bullet and Seller and that purple cat that's always around. So
that purple cat, I was like, and I think that purple cat too.
But it was getting to the point where it was like we only have like 5 or 6 people who were ready to play on a Sunday for the high stakes. So I love what Burr's done with the new format, which is basically that anyone who stakes more than 5 can play in any of these tournaments. And the more you stake, the more you can win. So it's like a sliding scale if you win the prize. So a little bit extra incentive for people with the bigger stakes, and I think it'll be really fun. And we're also cooking some other interesting community initiatives with Burr that'll be coming soon. Hopefully she feels better soon. She's been under the weather with a really nasty cold all through the holidays, and hopefully we get a regular sassy Burr back in force.
We did have her on. She was my co-host last Monday. She did great, but she was definitely struggling towards the end. Yes, she was struggling, but she made it through. But I hope she's feeling better soon. It's been so. Did we cover everything? Did we miss anything? I want to make sure we've got all the.
There's one other thing that I'd like to say, if I could, is we've been talking a lot over the holidays, NetNose and I, and thinking a lot about the future. And one thing that we just wanted to emphasize about our community is that NetNose and I consider the Betr token now to be the canonical token of Betr Labs. We incorporated as a dev shop basically in October before going to Argentina for the Base Batches incubator. So we are officially, Delaware C Corp. We plan to use what we've learned with Betrmint to build on it, expand it out, make some new apps. Maybe we've got some stuff cooking, and we just want people to know that if you hold our token, you've been here since the beginning. There'll always be benefits to holding that token. And there may be some news, sometime soon about what that could look like. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention, and this is actually alpha or a scoop for you guys, is that in that vein, because we want to make sure, first of all, we give away a lot of our Betr. What we've put aside since the very beginning, we've been giving out to our community in the app through community initiatives, tipping it on the timeline via Noise and Tippin, and of course these airdrops that we talked about as well. So we've given away a lot of the Betr that we've had to our community, which is amazing. But we wanted to make sure that we are still super aligned and invested with what we're building. And we recently won a prize of $25,000 from Base. That was the On-Chain Summer Award that we talked about before, which was amazing. Thank you to Base for supporting builders in the eco. And we decided over the holidays to take $15,000 of that prize and reinvest it back into the project. So we wanted to keep it quiet because we didn't want to blow up our own spot, but we've just recently purchased over $15,000 worth of Betr for our own community chest, essentially, to be used for community going forward, added to what we have already in there. And that was a combination of over $10,000 of market buys over the holidays, as well as a $5,000 OTC sale as well. So over $15,000 worth of Betr added to the coffers, and maybe more to come, but just want people to know that we're still very much believers in what we're building, and appreciate everybody who has been a believer in what we've been building to this point. And that's a little bit of alpha, because that has not been announced yet and will be soon.
Amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for popping by. I love Betrmint. I love what you're building. I am particularly very fond of the neon vibes and the 80s, the 80s branding.
I was just in Vegas, by the way, at the start of the year.
I know,
and it was so fun because there was so many vibes. There was such an interesting vibe. We went into some of the very older casinos over on Fremont Street, like the OG Strip, and some of them are just very nostalgic vibe. I mean, you're choking on cigarette smoke the moment you walk in, which isn't great, but the aesthetic, the visual aesthetic, not so much the oral aesthetic. No, what's the smell? What's the word for smell? Olfactory.
Yeah.
The one. There was Anyways,
it's definitely if you go to Vegas, you got to go to Fremont Street. Because
I'd never been vibe. I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
It's really fun.
And also
Fremont Street's the original strip, like the original casino.
The original strip.
And then they refurbished it. I don't know how recently, but they kind of made it into this giant street mall where they have like
been there for a while.
Live performances and a zip line and all sorts of things. It was I like it more fun than the strip actually. But,
it's really fun, and it's like the Golden Horseshoe and Four Queens and that area, Binions, that kind of area. But right close to there is also the Mob Museum, which I'd highly recommend.
We didn't get
That's
there. But
really fun. Yeah. I loved it. I love the Mob Museum. But I love Vegas. I haven't been there in a long time, but it's a fun trip.
15 years, and it's definitely changed a lot.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I feel like I don't really gamble, which might surprise.
Did you see the Pudgies on the Sphere? Were they there?
No. So on that note, I was there because my wife is a huge Backstreet Boys fan, like a super fan, and she's seen them live a few times, and this is probably the last time they're ever performing live together at the Sphere. And so I surprised her with tickets for Christmas to bring her to see them in Vegas. And so everything on the Sphere was that either that or Wizard of Oz, which is also playing at the Sphere right now. So no Pudgies. But yeah, I was going to say about Vegas, like, might surprise people to know that I don't really gamble much. I was there with my wife, so I didn't really get a chance to even play poker, which is one of the only games I really would play in a casino because the rest of them are pretty terrible odds. I'll play the odd game of blackjack or something like this.
Blackjack.
I'm outing myself as not as degen as people might have thought. But I feel like if you go to Vegas and you don't gamble, or you're not susceptible to gambling, it's kind of like using a credit card for the points. Like you're kind of like you're taking advantage of it because they really want you there so badly that they'll make your flight cheap and your hotel $20, and they'll give you a voucher to go eat because they just really hope that you play blackjack on the way. So it's kind of like a little life hack. Go to Vegas, don't gamble.
And then if
you're saying, why would I go to Vegas?
Why would I go to Vegas and not gamble? And also you have to walk through every single casino to get to any of the other good stuff. Like if you're going to a show, you're walking through like miles of casino to get there.
But it just becomes white noise after a while.
It does. It really does. It's always interesting. It's always a good time to watch, like look around and stuff. All right, this has been amazing. So I'm really excited for what's next with Betr and Betr Labs. Shout out to NetNose too, who isn't here. Sometimes he's in our chat. I don't see him, so he must be busy. But we love NetNose too. We love NetNose. And looking forward to meeting him at FarCon Rome. So I'm very excited.
Yes. By the way, me too.
Have you never met yet?
We've never met.
I want to be there for that experience.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. So hopefully he hasn't been catfishing me or starfishing me, as the case may be.
What's a starfish?
That's just his.
That's his PFP. His PFP is a starfish.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Bad Toady joke.
I know. Never mind.
As know expected. What a catfish is. Bad Toady joke as expected. Please count the number of puns and Toady jokes throughout this.
I have been
not as many. You've been under control today.
I've been showing restraint. I did post one on the timeline though this morning, but
I missed it. I'll have to go look. That was funny. Derek had posted some dad joke, and I tagged you in it because it was, you had to. I wanted to make sure you didn't miss it.
My one this morning was, why does an overturned canoe make such a great hat?
I have no idea.
Because it's.
I should probably. Oh God. And on that note, thanks, Toady.
It can only get better from here. Oh, there's
NetNose. Hi, NetNose.
I need to tell a story too. Actually, just recently this weekend, my son, my 3-year-old, just started saying "NetNose, NetNose, NetNose." Like, what? He's like, "Daddy, is NetNose your friend?" I'm like, "Sometimes."
So cute.
He's always my friend.
That's very cute.
So cute. That's adorable. All right. On that note, thank you, Toady. We appreciate you being here with us today. And that is our Clankcaster Spotlight for this week. Focus on Betr and Betrmint. So thanks, Toady. And we'll see you on the timeline. We'll be spinning tomorrow.
You guys are champions. I appreciate everything you do for the timeline and the community. And sometimes people
love
don't
you
know
too.
how lonely it would be here without you guys. So
we're still here. We're still here. We didn't even take a vacation. We took a small vacation.
We did.
Maybe you should.
We took a lot less than the founders.
I pretty much know whenever someone goes on vacation because I get the call. You get the call up from the miners.
Who's on vacation? All right. Thanks so much, Toady.
Bye.
And we've got a few more things. We're going to finish up. We've got a few more items that we want to chat about, mostly from our builders, but that was so fun. And we love having
He's
Toady
awesome. I can't believe it. Betrmint has only been around for 9 months. I guess that also goes to show like what you get, like your expectation of the life cycle of projects end up, especially kind of in token world, is like, if something's, it's more than a day. Wow, you're standing. So it feels like Betrmint's around forever. So less than 9 months. It does. I also love when Farcaster acquired Clanker, they were talking about how do they do spotlights on different clankers and how do you educate? Because there's so many, and we do our partnership to try to do these deep dives. And I just love how little of the talk is about like
the token price.
What is Clanker? It's a token launcher.
Yeah.
There's tokens, but we're really not talking about even the mechanics of how the token was launched, what the price is, and it's all just what is the utility and what is the project behind and what is the builder, and I think it's really cool.
And in this case, how is it benefiting creators and others? So it's a collective type of approach as well, and I love that. I
have to give a shout out. We have someone new who's tuning in from Indonesia, who apparently can't follow along because there's no translation. So he's typing in English, and I don't know how he's following. He seems to be following a little bit. And I asked him how he found our show then, and he said, obviously from Farcaster. So welcome.
Welcome.
I guess there's no translations when you do a live stream.
I think there's a way to do it, but we'll have to look into that. There's a way there's something to incorporate, but when the recording comes out, it should allow for a translation. So yeah.
And if you do listen to us through translation, let us know how it is.
Yeah, I'm scared. Hopefully the translation is good. Hopefully, like, it makes sense.
It won't.
It won't. We use too many weird words. All right. We've got a few other crazy things that have happened that I want to share. And I don't know if did you even see this happen? They were showing Polymarket odds at the Golden Globes as they were going into commercials. The first one they showed, and that got a lot of attention because it's the first time that they've had a podcast category. So they were showing the odds, which I had already predicted she was going to win. Said that a couple weeks ago. But I hadn't bet on it, and I will talk about that in a second. And so this was really interesting. There was a lot of feelings about this, not necessarily positive, from the normies who are watching the Golden Globes. So think about the audience of the Golden Globes. But this is the type of thing that you can, put some funds on in a prediction market. And so it makes sense to me why Polymarket would partner with them. And then there were also Kalshi ads during the Golden Globes. So that was the first time I've seen that. For those who may not know, Polymarket is built on crypto, on Polygon. So I think there's a lot of people who don't know that it's built on crypto, and that was the other thing. So it was really kind of interesting experience to see this. It was a little surprising, and congratulations, our colleague, our fellow podcaster, Amy Poehler, on winning the very first Golden Globe for a podcast.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. We didn't qualify, unfortunately. Maybe next year.
Haven't heard of any of these podcasts.
I've heard that. It's so funny. I've heard other people saying that, and I'm like, I know all of the podcasts that were on the list. Like, and I listen to Good Hang often. I don't listen to Mel Robbins on a regular basis, but they all had to have. They were the top to qualify. There were only 25 podcasts that were even available to be nominated, and they had to hit certain metrics. So these are the most popular podcasts like in the world. So I find that interesting. And I think that really speaks to our silos and how much content there is out there. There's a lot. So as I listen to Smart Lists Good hang. Mel Robbins. The other two that were nominated were Caller Daddy, and I think it was The Daily. I think that was the other one.
Wait. So that's actually a good point. Was Joe Rogan not?
He wasn't nominated. He wasn't nominated. He was in that 25 that could be nominated, but he wasn't nominated. Okay. So he was in that.
So they're still editorial, right? This isn't just based on popularity. This is based on the tastemakers at the Golden Globes.
At the Golden Globes, yeah.
Did your teenage son watch the Golden Globes?
No. I tried to get him. I honestly tried to get him to, because I thought, because he's so into movies, that I actually thought he might find interest. So I kept yelling out things to him where I was like, oh, so-and-so just want, ones that he really likes, the movies he really likes. I was like, one battle after another. And he's like, eh. But he wasn't watching. So yeah, this is a dying kind of thing.
I was like, are you watching the Golden Globes? And I said, do you know what it was? And she's like, no. She's like, award show? She's like, I know what an EGOT is. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. And that's only because they follow people who get EGOTs, not because they watch the award shows. The award shows don't matter, I don't think. Sorry,
and I think this is no, I agree. I watch them. I watch them. I like
old people. Like old people watch.
Old people. I'm old people. But also, I used to watch award shows when I was young, like young. But also think about there was nothing on. There was nothing on. So this was, and I think that's a product of that time period. That this was a big moment. It was fun. It was all very entertaining. There was always things that would happen that would be very spontaneous and newsworthy. And that still happens. Like all of these are, it's still fun and interesting, whatever, but they are watching it. They're not watching it, but they are watching it. Right. They're watching it on TikTok. They're seeing clips on TikTok.
I watched Nikki Glazer's opening on YouTube last night. She crushed.
Yeah, she crushed it. She was great. And she was great throughout, and she was really good last year too. So anyways, I enjoy it. I'll be looking forward to the Oscars as well. And I'll be betting on Polymarket for that. This is my next moment with Rish. But actually before that, here's what I didn't know. Here's what I learned from posting this was that I didn't realize that Polymarket had been integrated into Rainbow and was available to everyone. I think I had heard they were going to, but I didn't think it happened because when I would go into like the App Store, it was showing it weird. It was saying I had the most up-to-date one and I didn't. So I updated, it was there. So now I'm playing around with Polymarket and we'll see. But it's fun. So here is Rish's comment on prediction markets. For most people should be looking at prediction markets for news, not necessarily betting on them. I read somewhere that B. Armstrong said prediction markets benefit from insiders betting. Not sure if he actually said that or was made up. If he did, I think he's right. And I agree with all of this. Prediction markets aren't securities. They're event contracts where payouts depend on outcomes, not managerial effort. Insiders betting on prediction markets exposes truth faster to the world than waiting on traditional announcements. Information has a price. Prediction markets allow insiders to monetize their information, whether you like it or not. Unless you have insider information to know the outcome of the market, betting on prediction markets is the same as gambling. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it. Gambling can be fun. People play poker with friends, but it's good to be honest about it. Without added info, there's no added edge. However, as truth-seeking machines, it's great to observe them and know the future. They are essentially and obviously time machines. It's funny in the sense that if someone had decided to build a time machine 20 years ago, they would not have predicted gambling as a trade-off on the other end. One can argue they normalize gambling, etc. However, I don't think there's any reason to blame prediction markets solely for it. They are just a type of new market that went mainstream recently. Humans have consistently increased the number of markets they have access to and have gambled on them. Imagine not having equity or commodity markets. Someone in 1500s might have resisted against them for the same reasons. Kids born today will not find prediction markets any weirder than we find equity markets. We still have to teach kids about the risk of gambling. Of course, it's possible to gamble on equities and it's possible to gamble on predictions. The options available have increased, but the fundamentals are the same. Time machines are cool, worth being picky about which markets you bet on. Okay. So I thought that was really well said. I think there's a few things that I'm looking at with prediction markets. One, it's fun. Did you ever do pools at any place you worked? So like when I worked in corporate in like the 90s, we would do all kinds of different stupid pools. And like anytime there was an award show, we were doing a pool for that, things like that. And there were some that started online in the late 90s. But before that, it was like a piece of paper and you're, and you're throwing $1 in and that kind of thing. And some of that's mostly about like, can I guess based on what I know about this that you may not know as much about? Like, you know what I mean? Because I've watched all these movies or whatever. And so it's the same kind of thinking, but also just for a fun thing.
Like, is it fun to make bets with friends? Like we did
bets with friends.
Yeah, we did Oscars. We did
same kind
Super
of thing.
Bowl. Well, did we gamble with our friends? Sure.
Yeah. So I think there's that. And I think where folks are getting a little upset is around the insider information. So I think this framing is a good way to look at it. Where, yes, you're getting upset that this insider made money off of this thing, which sometimes it's clearly insider trading and should be called that. Other times it's like, I just have a better knowledge of this particular area. So for example, and I didn't have access to Polymarket, so I didn't do this last year. There was a Polymarket for whether or not Farcaster was going to launch a token in 2025. Any person on Farcaster who was intimately familiar could have bet on that and said no and won. So it's sometimes not necessarily insider information, but more like your area of expertise or something that you are so deep in.
You have information edge.
You have an edge. Yeah. So use the edge, or you do the research, or you figure it out. And I think there's that piece of it too. So there's two different things. It's not necessarily just insiders, but it's like, here's this thing that I know more about than anyone. And I have this edge.
Yeah. I mean, the comps, by the way, Rish's post was really thoughtful, and there's parts I agree with 100%. Other parts I'd want to debate on to kind of pull some strings. But I think I guess two things. One, the comp, trying to compare it to equities, right? And it really reminds me of when you and I had I don't know if you finished reading 1929.
Still reading.
But the level of insider trading that was happening legally before the Great Depression was startling. And this is before the SEC was founded, before there was regulations, before, so I don't think you can just be like
that same exact thing though, as I was reading that.
I don't think you'd be like, sure, then it is, okay, well, what is a prediction market? And I liked his point of like, you're either betting on information you have, right? Like you either are going to, right?
Yeah.
Or you're gambling. And by the way, if you are gambling, you are funding the person who has insider information. So then it comes down to like, when you want to avoid the Black Mirror kind of dystopian future aspect of like, is this really the world that you want to live in? Are you betting on like, who's going to win the best podcast at the Golden Globes? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, even like, there's a reason they like disallowed sports betting, because guess what? People were throwing games. Like, it's just, betting can corrupt. So I guess you had to think about just as an individual, or at least this is how I feel, like, where do you want to be placing bets? I mean, if it's legal, everyone's going to do it. I don't know. I'm not loving it.
I'm experimenting. I'm playing around with it. But here's the thing that's a little different than putting a bet in with your bookie or in Vegas, is that you can sell it at any time as well. So it can just be you're tracking, the market's going up, and you can get out if you're like, hey, I don't think this is going to resolve the way I want it to. Let me get the heck out of here. Or you can just choose not to bet at all. There's always that option. You can choose not to participate in all the markets.
I don't.
Yeah. And I think that's, also very acceptable. Just don't participate at all. But I think it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think it's going to have more impact and more, you're going to see a lot more people.
Way more cultural impact. And by the way, the insider that bet on Maduro being captured did get screwed by Polymarket in the end. That's the other thing, is like, who's like, when you're betting on something, how, like, what's the determination?
How it's worded, how the oracle's going to determine it, like how that particular prediction is worded. And that's what I've been sort of looking at as well, is like you can have a market on the same three different markets on the same geopolitical event, but they're worded differently. And you have to pay attention to that, because if it's not exactly the way, if it doesn't go down exactly the way you thought it was gonna, then you might be SOL. So be careful.
So you have the ones, right? Like it's like the the press briefing lasts longer than an hour, right? And then
that was something clearly,
like that. If something can be gamed or whatnot, then guess what? People should stop gambling on that. If you think it's like not going to be a fair outcome, don't gamble on it. Don't
get out of there.
Guess what? Adults have agency. No one's forcing you to.
Yes.
No one's forcing you to do anything.
No.
And aside from that, I think in general, like the history of human, like we want certainty and we want to be able to predict the future. So if this becomes a better way to predict the future, I just think it's like kind of that's where gravity is going to go, and you can try to fight it, and there might be some bad outcomes, but I think to your point, like we're going to see a lot more, than less.
Absolutely. And I think I think we'll look back at this as a pivotal moment. I really do. Because it's so weird. Like, it's so weird to see this going into a commercial break on a program like this on CBS. It's like this was
that nobody watches.
That nobody's watching it. It's like it was very weird.
But I don't think this is pivotal, because I think
it is. No, I think it is, because even if you weren't watching it, the discussion about it was massive. So I think regardless of whether or not, regardless of numbers of who watched it, I still think it's like, okay, this is going to be part of the culture for a while. And I feel like this is that moment that kind of proves it, in my opinion. But we'll see. We shall see. All right, moving on. So while you were away, let me see if this is going to work for me. While I had Rachel here with me, we did a shout out, a little appreciation. I did a little appreciation moment for Emily Jr. So that was last Wednesday. Now, again, I'm not saying it was because of that, that we talked about DRB on here last Wednesday, but it's been on a run since. So just, again, might be a good idea to, tune in every once in a while. But again, like Emily Jr., just, hats off to your persistence is all I can say. So this was from him. The #1 trending AI meme in all of crypto, as categorized by CoinGecko, is on Base, and it was created publicly on the X social feed by Grok with our own banker and Clanker DRB. So it's having a moment. And I love to see it because he's been relentless. Quick shout out to our friend Zal. Whoops. Love seeing the shirt on the timeline. If you want to see yourself on GM Farcaster, this is a good way to do it. Good way to get our attention. Also, here it is. We talked about this in the 29 seconds of Farcaster news, but this was Bracky with a big old distribution to max holders, a fundamental shift in the way prediction markets can distribute value. So speaking of prediction markets, with our friend Bracky, the playoffs for the National Football League, the NFL, were starting up, and the way they did an early distribution was through the teams that the max holders, like their team. So they got an early distribution based on the choice of team. And so that helped to kind of prime the market a little bit and give a benefit to those who are holding more of the Bracky token. So I think Burr explained this well as to why this was really cool. To give you an idea of what TLDR just did for all Bracky max holders, 10 million Bracky held in your Bracky wallet. Normally markets open up at 50-50. The fastest secure the best prices. Instead, for week 1 playoffs, Tim and team airdropped us max holders all positions according to value. Snipers didn't get a chance, didn't get the best price. The site's power users did. So TY, Bracky, TLDR, and Max P. So yeah, very, very cool to see this. So kind of driving more value back to those holders of your token seems like a good move. I think I'm going to skip this. Actually, it's our last thing. I'll just shout it out. Did you do this yet, by the way? I don't know if you did yours. Can't remember. I think I forget who started this little run on Farcaster. I think it's in this thread. But it was, talking about asking this prompt based on all our conversations, create a picture of how you think I treat you. And this was mine. So I loved this trusted co-conspirator energy. Peachy was also safe from the AI uprising. And yes, this is where I believe this started it all, was RJS, who said, not looking good for me when the AI uprising comes. When he used this prompt, he got this image, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. He redid it and he said, they're good now. So your Berserker also had some issues. This was his image. It's very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. That was a little crazy. And Phil said, I'm pretty sure chat thinks I'm a woman, because that was his. That tracks. And then this was interesting from DogFacts, chat versus Gemini. Very different. Chat was very big with the little bots and hands on the bots, and it felt very parental. And Gemini was like all kinds of like.
What's really interesting about chat was how similar people's pictures were. So it's like if you're asking it, I think mine's very similar to yours, by the way.
I think it was like, I saw it. I forgot. Yeah.
I didn't post mine.
You didn't? Oh,
no.
I was like, did you? I thought you
posted but yours. it's I couldn't post it. It's a bot holding a cup of coffee. Oh. And the coffee is labeled ChatGPT. So I think I'm the bot and I'm cradling, crusting coffee in my, I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
And with a lot of Post-it notes also. It's weird. It was weird.
There's a lot of Post-it notes. Yeah. There's a lot of Post-it notes. In the background of mine, I'm trying to bring it back up. Is that it? Yeah. When you look at mine back here, reminded me of the conspiracy meme.
Yes.
So, which I thought tracked perfectly, honestly. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But we had a lot of people did this. It was kind of fun. Something I was seeing all over the timeline. So again, be nice to your bots. It's important to be nice. We talked about that last week. It's nice to be important, but it's important.
We don't know if it's important yet.
We don't really know. But why take the risk? I'm not about, tempting fate, all that kind of thing. All right.
Oh, Zal, I don't know if you missed your shout out. We just gave you a fashion show.
Hold on. Let me see if I can grab it again. If he missed it. I don't want him to miss it. He probably got tagged. Somebody was like, you're on GM Farcaster.
Or he just knew.
There you go. There you are. There he is. We love to see it. All right. And I like that he said, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite shirts. He has posted himself in that shirt many times, so I love to see it. All right.
Yes. See, that is.
Yeah.
Someone told him.
Someone told him. I'm like, he probably got tagged. All right. Adrian, anything else before we wrap this up? We're back tomorrow. Are we back at 8:30? Were you on regular? Okay. We're back at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have some news, hopefully. I don't know. Don't do too much in the next 24 hours, and maybe we can actually keep it to 29 minutes.
Should we do a poly market?
Yes, we should. Oh, Den.show. I just saw something about that. We have to go look at that. I will look at that tonight because that actually would be a great experiment for tomorrow. But Den.show said they're going to incorporate prediction markets on their live streams. So we could literally do that. And that was the thing I was thinking about. Will it go over 29 minutes?
Okay, so we are streaming on Den these days. By the way, if anyone's watching on Den, I'd love to know how that's going.
And we're sorry. We are very bad at trying to manage multiple chats. We do have to figure that out. We have to find the folks who really like to hang on those platforms and maybe sort of knight them as like a little like intern on those platforms. But we got to check that out because that would be really, really funny. If we could try and keep it to under 29. I don't think
Symbio's right. 100% over unless the market gets so high that we'll just be like, peace out at 28
peace
minutes.
Out. We're out. Yeah.
We can do that.
Peace out.
Because we have insider information.
It would be really funny to see how that goes. But we may have to play around with that. So there you go. All right, Adrienne, I think that's it.
All right.
It's been a long one. We appreciate you all hanging with us.
Can I just say it's January 13th? Can I say Happy New Year? Because I'm ready to start my year.
No, Larry David says no.
I think that's
too late.
Yes.
Yes, we're officially starting the year now. Here we go.
Officially started. This is my first day of the year. I am back from travels. Q1 is going to be so jam-packed with builder energy. I have so many things that we want to be building, and I'm really, really excited to be back, excited to be live streaming Farcaster news. And I'm starting to notice another like uptick in builder energy on Farcaster.
Yes, I am as well. We can wait till the Lunar New Year. Good idea.
You know what? It's going to be the year of the horse, which is actually a big one for me. So
yeah. There we go. So maybe February 19th.
Now you know how old I am. If you're smart, you can figure that out. Because I am the year of the horse. And
that fits so well for you. I love that.
It totally does.
It's amazing. I'm a dog, which probably fits as well.
Totally. And also announcement, I shout out Paragraph. We have a weekly newsletter hosted on Paragraph. I used their API yesterday and it worked out really well. So just shout out to all the people building cool things. And now from our GMFarcaster.com, people can subscribe.
And I just realized that we didn't send out the newsletter this week.
No, I think you did. I think that's what reminded me.
I did not.
Oh,
I did not. I forgot.
Sorry.
I meant to, and it just didn't happen. And also we're wanting to add like another paragraph to the week. So it might just be a little late this week and we'll figure this out. Anyway, fantastic. But shout out Paragraph. We do love you. All right. With that, everyone, we're going to call it here. Thanks all for hanging with us. It's been a busy one. Thank you, ToadyHawk, for popping in to talk about Betrmint and betr for our Clankcaster Spotlight. And I think that's it. And we will see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. right here. Look for us here on Twitter, YouTube, Retake, Den.Show, Show, Pine Tree. I don't know. I just keep throwing things out there. The mini app, our GM Farcaster mini app. Make sure you add that. You'll get a notification when you're live. And until then, bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and HyperSub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates and add our mini app on Farcaster and the base app. Until next time, bye-bye.